Sometimes, stepping back can unexpectedly draw someone closer, like a magnetic pull that's both intriguing and effective. Today, we're exploring a subtle strategy that flips the usual script on its head. How giving a little space can actually make someone more interested in you. It might sound counterintuitive, but a dash of distance could be the secret ingredient to sparking genuine curiosity and desire. We're not talking about ignoring someone in the cold, harsh sense, nor are we suggesting any kind of manipulation. This is about understanding the fine line between giving attention and suffocating it. It's about being strategically reserved, showing that your world is vast and inviting, which can make you incredibly intriguing. This tactic isn't about playing mind games. It's about showing that you respect yourself enough to not rush things, and in doing so, fostering a similar respect from her. By maintaining this balance, you're not just another person clamoring for her attention. You transform into someone whose presence is a rare gift. This subtle shift can make her see you in a new light, potentially leading her to pursue you, curious about the person behind the calm demeanor. So as we delve deeper into this approach, think about how being less available can sometimes lead to being more desired. If this perspective resonates with you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more relationship insights, and join us as we explore more ways to cultivate meaningful connections with a touch of Stoic wisdom. Step 1. You take the initiative. The first move is a moment of decisive action. It's where you set the tone, taking control of the dynamic from the start. In Stoicism, power is deeply connected to self-control and knowing that you cannot control the outcome, only your own actions. When you approach a woman and express your interest, you're signaling confidence. You're showing her that you know what you want, but more importantly, that you're willing to take the risk of rejection with grace. Picture this. You meet someone at a social event. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or hoping she'll notice you, you take control. You introduce yourself with ease, guide the conversation with topics that reveal your personality, and suggest plans for the future, whether it's grabbing coffee or attending an event together. In doing so, you are in control of the situation, and this control radiates confidence. She's intrigued because most people are hesitant or overly cautious, but you've shown that you are comfortable in your own skin. You organize the date, lead the interaction, and for a while, you are the one guiding the energy of the relationship. But here's where many make a crucial mistake. After making the first move, they start chasing, sending constant texts, seeking validation, and over-investing emotionally. This can quickly shift the balance, making you appear overly eager and diminishing the allure. Here's where Stoic philosophy comes in. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of not letting desires control us. After making the first move, resist the urge to over-pursue. Once you've set the stage, give her space to react. Let her wonder about you. Let her think about why you're not constantly seeking her attention. This is where the balance shifts, when you allow her to invest in the interaction. When you don't flood her with attention, it creates an air of mystery, leaving her curious and intrigued. This space is essential because desire grows in absence. There's a moment in every interaction where your next step determines everything. If you push too hard, you risk seeming desperate. If you pull back too far, you might seem disinterested. The Stoics remind us that balance is key. Once you've made that confident first move, the power lies in restraint, mastering the art of doing less. You see, it's easy to get caught up in wanting immediate validation or a constant stream of communication. But by stepping back, you create a dynamic where she starts to chase. The Stoic principle of self-control teaches that true strength comes from not being swayed by every desire. When you can resist the impulse to constantly chase, you display emotional discipline. You show that you're not needy, that you're secure in yourself, and this is incredibly attractive. By pulling back and ignoring the urge to constantly check in or plan everything, you create space for her to come to you. You shift from the pursuer to the one being pursued. When you lead with confidence and then master the art of restraint, you cultivate an irresistible combination of strength and mystery. You aren't driven by impulse or anxiety, but by a calm understanding of your own worth. By knowing when to ignore the impulse to chase, you allow her the space to chase you, and in that, the dynamic shifts. She starts to wonder, she begins to invest, and soon enough, she's the one chasing you, drawn to the calm confidence that sets you apart. Step 2. Don't offer her everything right from the start. Imagine meeting someone you're incredibly drawn to. Naturally, you want to open up, show her all your best sides, and tell her how you feel. You might feel like offering her your time, attention, and affection right away because it seems like the sure way to win her over. But here's the thing, people don't appreciate what's given too easily. If you lay everything out on the table from day one, what's left to discover? When you meet a woman, it's tempting to wear your heart on your sleeve. Maybe you start offering boyfriend services or girlfriend services before you're even in a relationship. While it feels right in the moment, it can actually have the opposite effect. Stoicism teaches us to temper our emotions, to not act impulsively based on immediate feelings. By not giving everything at the beginning, you create space for mystery and anticipation. Women, just like men, thrive on the thrill of the chase. There's a deep psychological pull toward someone who is confident enough to pace themselves, someone who holds back just a little, leaving room for curiosity to grow. She doesn't want to know everything about you right away. If she knows your entire story after the first date, where's the excitement of getting to know you? It's the mystery, the "what's next?" that keeps her intrigued. Consider this. If you shower her with attention, compliments, and constant availability from the start, it can feel overwhelming. She might begin to take it for granted. But if you practice restraint, showing just enough to keep her interested, but holding back enough to remain a mystery, you create that magical tension. She'll start wondering about you, thinking about what you're up to when you're not around, and feeling drawn to you in ways she didn't expect. Here's an example. Let's say after a first date, you don't immediately text her. Instead, you give it a day, allowing her to process the experience, to think about how much she enjoyed your company. When you're not in constant communication, she has time to reflect and wonder. This creates a psychological effect where she starts to chase your attention. In a world where everyone craves instant gratification, your restraint becomes the thing that makes you stand out. By embracing this stoic approach, you're not playing games. You're maintaining your peace of mind. You're showing that you're someone who values themselves and doesn't rush to prove their worth. Over time, this confident sense of self-control becomes attractive. She'll be drawn to you because you're not desperate for validation. You're a puzzle she's eager to solve, a story she wants to keep reading. So remember, don't feel like you have to give her everything at once. Hold back a little, keep some things unsaid, and let her wonder. It's the mystery that fuels the chase. When you combine this with the Stoic philosophy of self-restraint, you not only build attraction, but you also protect your peace and strengthen your inner confidence. Before we dive into the next step, take a moment to reflect on this idea of pacing yourself and creating space for curiosity in a relationship. Does it resonate with you? If so, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Even just typing "less is more" can be a powerful way to show you connect with this message. And of course, if you're finding value in these insights, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to stay updated with more content that can help you navigate relationships with a Stoic mindset. Your support means a lot. Step 3. Stick to your plans, no matter what she says. Imagine this scenario. You've met someone special, and things are going great. But there's a hidden truth that many men overlook when it comes to building attraction. It's not about being constantly available or bending over backward to meet her every whim. No, the real secret lies in something deeper: living with purpose, standing firm in your values, and embodying the calm, composed mindset of a Stoic. In fact, sometimes it's about knowing when to step back, when to ignore her, not out of manipulation, but out of self-respect and a life focused on what truly matters to you. This creates a dynamic where she begins to chase you, drawn to the strength you exude. One crucial way to embody this is to avoid changing your plans for her. It sounds simple, but it's something that men often struggle with. When she calls, wanting to meet up or suggesting a last-minute date, it's easy to drop everything in the hopes of making a good impression. But what impression are you really giving? That your time isn't valuable? That your life is centered around her? The Stoic mindset teaches us to maintain control over what we can, our own actions and choices. When you give in too quickly, you lose that control and send a message that you're willing to abandon your priorities. Let's say she texts you one evening, asking if you're free to hang out. But you've already made plans to catch up with an old friend, someone you haven't seen in years. Now, the average guy might jump at the chance to be with her, canceling on his friend in the process. But you, embracing the Stoic way, understand the importance of balance, respect, and maintaining your life outside of her. Instead of changing your plans, you say, "I'd love to see you, but I already have plans with a friend tonight. How about another night?" What you're doing here is far more powerful than it may seem. First, you're demonstrating that your life is full. Your world doesn't stop spinning just because she's in it. This sense of purpose and independence is attractive because it shows that you're a man who values his time and sticks to his commitments. In the eyes of a woman, this makes you more than just another guy who's easily available. You're becoming someone who has his own path, and that path is something she'll want to be a part of. Women love a challenge, especially when it comes from someone who clearly values themselves and their own time. When you make her work for your attention, when you show that you won't be available at the drop of a hat, you become someone worth pursuing. She'll start to realize that your attention is something she has to earn, and that's when the dynamic shifts. Instead of you chasing her, she'll start to chase you, eager to be a part of your world. But it's important to understand that this isn't about playing games. It's about living with integrity, with the kind of discipline that Stoicism teaches. You're not ignoring her to manipulate her. You're simply staying true to your own priorities. You're showing her that your life is rich and fulfilling on its own, and that if she wants to be a part of it, she'll have to align herself with your values. This is the kind of strength that Stoicism champions, a calm, steady confidence that attracts others naturally, without effort or pretense. So the next time she asks you to drop everything, remember the power of sticking to your plans. Keep your commitments, value your time, and watch as she becomes more drawn to you. You're not just playing hard to get, you're living a life that's genuinely worth chasing. And that's the ultimate attraction. Step 4. Don't let her provoke jealousy. When you're faced with a situation like this, you must understand that her actions are likely a test of your emotional resilience. She's trying to get a reaction out of you, hoping that the sight of her with another guy or her sudden aloofness will stir up insecurity. Her goal is to make you feel like you're losing her, so you'll chase harder and try to win her back. But this is where Stoic wisdom becomes invaluable. Rather than reacting emotionally, you must remain calm and composed. In Stoicism, we are taught to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and responses. You can't control what she posts on social media or how she behaves around other people, but you can control how you respond. By ignoring her attempts to make you jealous, you demonstrate mastery over your emotions, showing that you won't be easily manipulated by her games. If you react with jealousy or desperation, you're only proving that her tactic worked. Instead, choose to stay silent and indifferent. For example, she might start posting pictures with a random guy, making it seem like she's moved on. Or you might see her out with someone else, acting as if she's no longer interested in you. The instinctive reaction might be to confront her, ask her what's going on, or even to rush to prove yourself. But doing this only gives her the upper hand. It shows that she has control over your emotions. This is the very behavior you need to avoid. Stoicism teaches us the power of restraint. By refusing to react, you send a powerful message that you are not swayed by her attempts to provoke jealousy. You maintain your composure, not because you don't care, but because you understand that true power lies in emotional control. If she truly values you, she will realize that her attempts to stir your jealousy have failed, and this will make her reconsider her actions. She'll start to question why you're not reacting, and that curiosity will pull her back towards you. Let's say you've already made an effort. Maybe you've told her how you feel, shown genuine interest, and taken steps to build a connection. Then, out of nowhere, she goes cold. She stops texting back, stops initiating, and it feels like she's suddenly lost interest. Your natural response might be to try even harder, to ask her what's wrong, or to keep pursuing her. But Stoicism teaches that in these moments, the most powerful thing you can do is pull back. Instead of chasing her, live your life. Focus on your passions, spend time with your friends, and enjoy your own company. Show her, and more importantly, show yourself that you are perfectly fine on your own. You don't need her validation, and you're not going to lose your peace of mind because she's acting distant. When she sees that you're no longer easy to get to, she'll realize that she has to work harder for your attention. This is when the dynamic shifts. She starts to wonder why you're not chasing her anymore, and she'll come back to you on her own terms. Eventually, if she's genuinely interested, she'll notice your calm indifference. She'll see that her attempts to provoke you have failed, and that you are not like other men who are easily swayed by emotions. She'll realize that your attention is valuable, and if she wants it, she's going to have to work for it. By practicing Stoic principles, you become someone who doesn't just react to the whims of others. You stay grounded in your own sense of self, confident that if she's truly meant to be in your life, she'll come to you. And if not, you've shown the strength to move forward without letting her emotional games disrupt your peace. As you reflect on the power of self-restraint and the impact of holding your ground, staying composed, practicing emotional restraint, and focusing on your own life are not just strategies to deal with a particular situation, but powerful Stoic tools for life. What do you think? Does this resonate with you? I'd love to hear your thoughts, or if this message speaks to you, just type "Emotional strength is my power" in the comments. Your voice and experience could inspire others, so don't hesitate to share. Step 5. Don't rush to reply to her messages. Picture this. You've just received a text from her, and your first instinct is to reply right away, eager to keep the conversation flowing. But what if I told you that the key to making her chase you lies not in responding immediately, but in mastering the art of waiting? This isn't about playing games or being manipulative. It's about practicing the discipline and emotional control that the Stoics held in such high regard. In life, we don't always need to act on our impulses. In fact, sometimes the most powerful move is to pause, reflect, and let others come to us. When she sends a message, resist that immediate urge to pick up your phone and reply. It might feel like you're creating distance, but in reality, you're giving her space to start thinking about you, wondering what you're doing and why you haven't responded yet. In that gap, her curiosity grows. What are you up to? Are you too busy to reply? Maybe you're spending time with someone else? The human mind is naturally drawn to the unknown, and by delaying your response, you're creating a sense of intrigue. This is where the idea of stoic patience comes into play, choosing when to act and when to hold back, all while remaining in control of your emotions. For instance, let's say she texts you something light, like, "How's your day going?" Instead of instantly responding with the details of your schedule, take a step back. Wait 30 minutes, or maybe even an hour. During that time, she's not just sitting there waiting. Her thoughts are spinning. She might start to question why you haven't responded. Is he busy? Did I say something wrong? She may even start to miss your attention, and as a result, she becomes more eager to hear back from you. The power of this approach is that it shifts the dynamic. She begins to realize that you're not always going to be available at her convenience. This creates a subtle but important tension, where she feels compelled to chase after your attention, which is now something she values more because it isn't guaranteed. You're not just sitting there at her beck and call, waiting for her to engage with you. You're showing her that you have a life, you have your own priorities, and you're not constantly glued to your phone. But here's where stoic wisdom really comes into play. Delaying your reply isn't about punishing her or creating unnecessary anxiety. It's about finding the balance between being available and not being overly eager. Eventually, you should respond. Ignoring her for too long might make her feel disrespected or neglected, which can work against you. The point is not to ghost her, but to give her a taste of what it's like to miss your presence, even if it's just for a brief time. This is where emotional control becomes vital. The Stoics believed in mastering one's reactions and not letting external circumstances dictate our emotions. When you delay your response, you're exercising that control. You're not allowing the desire for immediate gratification to rule your actions. Instead, you're choosing the timing that best suits your long-term goals. In relationships, this self-restraint can be incredibly attractive. It shows confidence, independence, and a strong sense of self-worth. Remember, the goal is not to make her feel ignored, but to create a dynamic where she values your attention and starts to pursue you in return. By embracing Stoic principles, you're not just delaying a text, you're demonstrating control over your emotions and actions, and that, in itself, makes you stand out. It's a balance between patience and action, self-restraint and engagement. When done right, she'll be the one chasing after your attention, wondering when she'll hear from you again. Step 6. If you spot her in public, just ignore her. Imagine this. You're at a social event, maybe it's a bar or a gathering of mutual friends, and amidst the laughter and conversation, you notice her. The woman who used to be at the center of your attention is now in the same room. Your heart might skip a beat, and the urge to go over and say hello might start to creep in. After all, it's been a while since you last saw her, and it would feel natural to reconnect, right? But here's where you need to stop. Take a breath and adopt a Stoic mindset. This moment could be pivotal in determining who chases whom. The philosophy of Stoicism teaches us about the importance of self-discipline, emotional control, and not being swayed by fleeting impulses. In this scenario, those virtues are key. By immediately giving in to the desire to approach her, you're allowing your emotions to dictate your actions. Instead, consider how Stoicism encourages you to remain composed and centered. The greater power lies in holding back, in showing that you're not easily influenced by her presence. In other words, you're not chasing. If you see her in public, whether through shared circles or by coincidence, and your first instinct is to go up and talk, pause. You've already invested time in crafting an image of strength, independence, and confidence. Now is the time to let those qualities shine. Think about it. If you were to rush over, smile eagerly, and initiate conversation, what does that say? That you're still hanging on, still emotionally attached, and that you've been waiting for this moment. It's human to feel these things, but acting on them too quickly can diminish your perceived value. Instead, focus on staying where you are. Keep engaging with your friends, laugh, enjoy yourself. This isn't about playing games, it's about maintaining your self-worth and letting her see that you're not waiting around for her validation. You are content, confident, and whole with or without her presence. That's the essence of Stoicism, understanding that you're in control of yourself and your emotions, not swayed by the external. By not approaching her, you're subtly shifting the dynamic. You're not rejecting her, but you're not actively seeking her out either. This leaves her wondering, is he still interested? What's going on in his life? Why isn't he rushing over to see me? The intrigue builds, and before you know it, she's the one walking across the room to talk to you, driven by curiosity and attraction to your unshaken composure. You've become a puzzle she wants to solve. The beauty of this approach is that it's not about playing games or manipulation. It's about embodying the principles of Stoicism, remaining steady, focused, and not ruled by the desire for immediate gratification. In doing so, you naturally elevate your value in her eyes. You're not someone who's easily swayed by emotions, and that makes you more desirable. You're showing her that you're a person of substance, not just chasing after whatever fleeting attention she might offer. When she eventually comes over to speak with you, the conversation is on your terms. She's approaching you because she's drawn to your calm and steady energy. This approach isn't about indifference, but about cultivating the kind of inner strength and confidence that draws people in naturally. Before we dive into the next step, I want to pause and hear from you. Have you ever found yourself in a similar situation where the Stoic approach of staying calm and centered worked in your favor? Or maybe you're just starting to see how these principles can play a role in modern relationships. Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If this resonates with you, drop a comment below and share your experience. Or simply type, "Strength comes from within," if you feel the power of this message. Your insights might inspire others too. Step 7. When she's angry, step back and reevaluate. Suppose you've been so caught up with work or other responsibilities, and as a result, you've unintentionally distanced yourself from her. Suddenly, she's upset, maybe even a little aggressive. Before you feel the need to respond immediately, let's pause and reassess the situation, just as the Stoics would have you do. Stoicism teaches us to control our emotions, not let them control us. When a woman becomes angry because you've been busy, it's essential to recognize that her reaction isn't necessarily about you. It could be her own insecurity or need for constant attention. This is where applying Stoic wisdom comes into play. Stay calm and don't react impulsively to her anger. Instead, ask yourself, what is the real issue here? Is this someone whose energy you want to invite more into your life? Let's say you've genuinely done something wrong and you recognize that her frustration is valid. In such cases, it's important to own up to it. The Stoics believed in accountability and being responsible for our actions. But if her anger stems from you simply being busy and handling your life, it may be a sign that she values her needs over your boundaries. This is where you need to practice emotional detachment and distance yourself for clarity. Ignoring her isn't about being cruel. It's about shifting the power dynamic and giving both of you the space to reflect. If she comes back calmer, apologizing for her outburst and explaining her hurt, that's a sign of maturity. On the other hand, if she continues to lash out, it may reveal an incompatibility in emotional maturity. And here's the Stoic insight. You don't need to chase someone who disrupts your peace of mind. For example, you've been working late, and she sends a message laced with sarcasm or frustration. Instead of immediately explaining yourself, remain calm. Don't engage with her anger right away. This may pique her curiosity. She might start to wonder why you're not reacting, why you're not scrambling for her approval. The truth is, the more you resist feeding into her emotional storm, the more likely she is to chase after you, trying to regain your attention. But here's the crucial part. After ignoring her, reassess. Do you want someone who cannot handle moments of distance or personal space? Is she the type of woman who respects your time and effort, or does she demand constant validation? If she reveals herself as someone who can't handle minor bumps without escalating into anger, it may be a sign that this relationship isn't built on mutual respect. The Stoics would advise letting go of anything that disrupts your inner tranquility. So, if her response to being ignored is further anger and blame, it's probably time to walk away and find someone who aligns better with your values. Remember, relationships should enhance your peace, not compromise it. If she can't see that, then someone else will. Step 8. Keep busy and live fully. This is perhaps the most essential rule when it comes to attracting someone, but more importantly, it's a principle for living well. Yes, we all want love. We all crave that deep connection with someone special, a person who truly sees and values us. However, the harder we try to find it, the more elusive it becomes. Why? Because the moment you start desperately searching for love, you lose your balance. You become needy, and neediness is the antithesis of attraction. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our energy. This means cultivating an inner life so rich and fulfilling that love and connection become a byproduct, not the focus of your existence. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself so wrapped up in the idea of finding someone that you started neglecting other important parts of your life? Maybe you skipped out on plans with friends, let your career ambitions slip, or stopped engaging in hobbies that bring you joy. When dating or pursuing someone becomes your main focus, you lose the very essence of what makes you attractive: your independence, your passion, your personal growth. You become dependent on the idea of someone else completing you, and that's where things start to crumble. Let's dive into an example. You're dating someone new. In the beginning, it's exciting, and you find yourself wanting to spend all your time with her. So, you text her constantly, rearrange your schedule to be more available, and make every effort to impress. At first, she might appreciate the attention, but over time, you start to lose the parts of yourself that initially drew her in: your confidence, your sense of adventure, your life outside of her. You become predictable, always there, always available, and unfortunately, that predictability can make things feel less exciting. This is where Stoicism steps in as a guide. Rather than allowing yourself to be consumed by the pursuit of a woman's affection, focus on building the foundation of your life. Spend time developing yourself, grow your career, pursue your hobbies, and invest in meaningful friendships. By doing this, you're creating a life that's so fulfilling and rich with purpose that someone will have to chase you to become a part of it. You are no longer the one seeking validation through another person, but instead, you are the one offering value through the life you've built. Being busy isn't about pretending to have no time for someone. It's about genuinely having a life so full that you don't need anyone to complete it. When your focus is on your personal growth and passions, you stop worrying about whether she's going to text you back or if she's interested. You simply don't have the time to dwell on it because you're too busy living a life you're proud of. This shifts the dynamic. She will begin to notice that your attention isn't so easily won. She'll start to wonder why you're not always available. And in turn, she will become more invested, wondering how she can fit into your world. When you're busy and truly immersed in the things you love, you don't have time to obsess over someone else's actions. You're not checking your phone every 5 minutes, waiting for a reply. Instead, you're engaged in building something meaningful: your career, your friendships, your health. And the irony is, the less you chase after someone, the more they are drawn to you. So, the Stoic lesson here is simple. Control what you can: your time, your energy, your focus. When you live your life with intention and purpose, people will naturally be attracted to that. Being busy isn't a tactic. It's a reflection of a life well lived. And when you live like this, you'll find that she's the one trying to figure out how to keep up with you instead of the other way around. In the end, it's a win-win. You're living a life that fulfills you, and if she's the right person, she'll chase you not because you're ignoring her, but because you've shown her that you don't need anyone to complete you. You've already got everything you need. Now that we've explored the importance of keeping busy and living fully, it's time to reflect. What part of your life are you neglecting in pursuit of someone else's affection? Or have you found that focusing on your own passions has naturally drawn others to you? I'd love to hear your thoughts, and your experiences might even inspire others who are navigating the same path. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts, or simply type, "I am the prize," if you resonate with the message. Your journey matters, and we're all learning and growing together. As we wrap up today's discussion, it's clear that the art of attraction is as much about what you don't do as what you do. By understanding and applying the Stoic principles of self-control and emotional independence, we see that sometimes stepping back can bring someone closer. This strategic approach isn't about playing games. It's about maintaining a balance that respects both your autonomy and the dynamics of attraction. We explored how making yourself less available can paradoxically make you more desirable, and how your sense of self-respect can foster respect in others. Remember, it's not about withholding for the sake of manipulation, but rather about demonstrating that you value yourself and your own life, making you all the more intriguing. I hope you found value in our exploration of these techniques and how they can be applied to modern relationships. If this video resonated with you, please like and share it. Your engagement helps us reach and help more people with these valuable insights. And don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's topic, so please leave a comment below. You can share your experiences or simply type "Stoic Wisdom Enlightens" to let us know you're part of the journey toward deeper understanding and meaningful relationships. Finally, don't miss out on the recommended videos on your screen right now for more guidance and tips on navigating relationships with Stoic wisdom. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep embracing the wisdom that leads to a more fulfilling and balanced life.